Welcome to Study Loop.
This is the answer to Chapter 22, problem number 16 from the Smith Organic Chemistry textbook. And this problem is asking us to predict the products of four reactions. And the focus of this problem is the Fischer esterification. So remember, the Fischer esterification is going to be taking a carboxylic acid, mixing it with an alcohol, and then treating that mixture with strong acid. And the result, as the name would imply, is going to be an ester, and actually an ester in water. And so, A, like I just talked about, is a carboxylic acid mixed with ethanol, treated with sulfuric acid. And so you get the ethyl ester that's formed. And remember, this works because it's acid catalyzed. So the carbonyl oxygen is protonated. This makes the carbonyl carbon even more electrophilic. And this allows the oxygen of the alcohol to attack that carbonyl carbon. The tetrahedral intermediate forms, and then OH is also protonated by this strong acid to H2O. And then that water molecule that was originally the OH of the carboxylic acid leaves. And you're left with the ester product and the H2O that you formed. And so B is the same thing, albeit with a different carboxylic acid and a different alcohol. But the result, again, is the ester and some water. And C is actually sort of a trick problem. So remember, this is an acid catalyzed reaction. So sodium methoxide, which is the reagent that we're using in C, is quite basic. It's fairly basic, and so we're not going to get the methyl ester as you might think we would. Deprotonating the carboxylic acid makes, in this case, the benzoate ion, and the benzoate ion is already electronically rich. Remember, there will be a negative charge on this oxygen, and so it's just not going to react the same way because the carbon is not going to be as electrophilic. There's already extra electrons in this system. And so instead what we see is we'll deprotonate the carboxylic acid to form the benzoate ion. The benzoate ion will react with the sodium ion to make an ion pair, just a salt there, sodium benzoate, and we'll get some methanol. And so that's going to be the product for C. So then for D, D is just like A and B, but the alcohol happens to be attached to the carboxylic acid. And so the result is we get this cyclic ester and water again. And so there's nothing different about D. It's just the same as A and B. The only change is that the alcohol is attached to the carboxylic acid, and so we get this cyclic ester instead of this lactone. And so that is the answer to Chapter 22, problem